Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Polio Jr. And in today's video, I wanted to go over 4 ways to clear a stuffy nose. And you um, may or may not have a runny nose with that, but where it's just primarily stuffy. And for me, like I was sick, and I'm just hitting the tail end of it, where it's basically done. But I was sick for close to 3 weeks, and I don't even remember the last time I was sick, let alone that long. So today I just wanted to go over just 4 ways to clear a stuffy nose in less than a minute. So two of the ways are um, you don't need to buy anything. And they're really weird ways, but they work. And I just found them just perusing the internet. And then there's two things that you may have heard of, but will definitely help. And obviously, you're looking at one of them, and the one is the classic Neti Pot. Now, there are a million Neti Pots out there, and I just have this one here. It looks so bizarre. So this is more oriented towards children. But long story short, uh, for this one, I mean for any neti pot in general, what it does is it thins out the mucus and then actually helps flush out the nasal passages during that process. So literally, what you would do is however the lid is on this one. This is one that's highly recommended from what I was reading, just because the solution that they have in this one seems to be um, a lot more potent. So, but you would just pour um, distilled water, or you would boil water and then wait till it hit room temperature. You would pour it in here with one of their packages, and then you would shake it up a little bit and literally just put the tip of this little nozzle here and put it into one nostril and just kind of tilt your head over the sink, and it might even take like 10 to 20 seconds, but eventually uh, the solution combined with the water is actually going to break through um, uh, that that congestiveness, inside of your nose, inside of your nasal passageway, and start coming out of the other nostril. And it feels a little weird once you actually start it, when it actually starts coming out of the other nostril. And you might even get like a little bit in your throat, but don't worry about that. It's not a big deal. But you're pouring it in one nostril while leaning forward, like over the sink, and then you'll slowly at first start seeing it come out of the other nostril, and then you just reverse the process. So, and if you're really sick and can't get out of bed, that's why I'm showing you the ones on Amazon, where I was basically, I mean, I was bedridden for a little bit, could not leave the house. So if I was going to order something, I definitely needed to be there at least by the latest 2 days. I would use Amazon Prime. So that's the first thing, is the neti pot. It's definitely a classic, and it definitely works. So 100%. So the next thing is actually hydrogen peroxide, um, which is also another well-known antiseptic solution. So, but and typically it's 3% peroxide, and I just put this one up on from Amazon, like I said, in case you didn't have any and you really needed it immediately. So that would be your best bet if you could not leave the house. So basically, what the hydrogen peroxide, um, you're basically just leaning over completely, and you can get some sort of dropper, or you can just eyeball, not eyeball it, but just kind of feel out and get as much as you can uh, into your ear canal, and you kind of let it go for about um, at least a minute or two. So I would say I would even do it for 5 minutes. Number one, it feels freaking amazing. while it's happening. You can just feel it working. And it's actually interesting because typically we don't necessarily need to clean out our ears unless we have like excessive earwax. But this is something where if you are sick and so forth, that doing that with each ear, so where you're basically your head, your one side of your head is laying flat, typically on at least on like a carpet or hardwood floor or something that's going to be even, and you just kind of lay there for, like I said, a minute or two. I would say at least 5 minutes because it feels great, but you will start to feel it relieving any pressure that you have built up in your ear, which will ultimately help all of your sinuses, and then will help to relieve that stuffy nose as well. And then you just do, once you're done, you just kind of have a paper towel there, flip over, let everything drain out of the ear and go into the paper towel and so forth, and then just do the same thing with the other ear. Now, the last two I found out, I actually never knew about. I mean, and the one seems like it would be common sense, but I've just never personally heard about it that it would actually help in this process. And the one is literally just holding your breath. So, and what this does is basically, by doing this, um, your your not fight or flight, but like your survival instincts will kick in, and we'll see, hey, the brain's gonna be like, hey, we're not getting enough oxygen here, we're not getting any air at all, so we have to compensate for that. So instead of needing X amount of air, we're gonna need that plus some more, to get to where we need to be. And in doing that, this was the one where I felt a lot of where my stuffy nose was almost immediately gone after I did this. So, and it was literally just holding my nose and just holding my breath until I couldn't hold my breath any longer. And then after that, just letting it out or breathing in, whatever it was. So that was it. It was just making sure my nose was pinched and then just holding my breath till I couldn't hold my breath any longer. You don't have to take a deep breath before you do it or anything like that. But as soon as you do, and you pinch your nose, and then you would actually start to feel where it's stuffy, start to actually relieve immediately. I mean, the closer you're getting to where your body actually needs, your brain and your body actually need oxygen, the closer you get to that point, yeah, you will actually see that, you will actually feel it. Um, which if it's both nostrils, if it's one nostril, like almost completely clear up. It was really bizarre, but it actually worked. And last but not least, this was another one I never heard of and actually worked as well. So the hold your breath one was perfect. But this is one where you're doing two things in a sequence. Um, and basically what it does, you're hitting this bone it's basically called the glabella bone, and it's right in between, why am I turning? The camera's just facing me. But you're basically just hitting this point right between your eyebrows. So right in the middle, that bone there. And what you do is you put your tongue to the roof of your mouth like that, and then you tap that part between your eyebrows, and that's it. And you just keep doing that. So tap, hit, hit, hit. So tap, hit. So, or whatever, touch, tap. uh, so you touch it, you let go, and then you hit that. Touch it, let go, hit that. And you do that for about 20 seconds. And to be honest with you, I don't know the exact science behind it. I just saw a demonstration about it. And hitting that, what's called the glabella bone, is supposed to, with using that sequence of actually hitting the roof of your mouth, for whatever reason with your tongue, releases a lot of frontal sinus pressure as well. So those are just 4 ways to release sinus pressure in general. The last 2 that I showed you are definitely more for a stuffy nose, and you don't need anything else besides your own body. There's nothing there's nothing on the exterior that you need to make this work. But all 4 of these combined, like I literally did all of these for a couple days straight. So if not at least once a day, if not twice a day, where I would be putting the hydrogen peroxide in my ear, then I would do the Neti Pot, and then I would hold my breath, and then I would do tapping the glabella bone, after touching the roof of my mouth with my tongue. So, all right, it's that simple. Those are 4 ways to relieve a stuffy nose and just clear sinuses in general. Because right now, it's just that time of year, and like almost everybody I know either has the flu or a cold. So, and I definitely caught it. Luckily, I'm at the tail end of it. But these are 4 things that will definitely help you. So, I hope if you are experiencing this, that you get some relief. If you are absolutely bedridden and cannot leave the house whatsoever, check out these products online. They aren't anything complicated, obviously, um, but at least you can get them fairly quickly. If for whatever reason that you can't leave the house or you can't find anybody to help you out. So, all right, that's all I got. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you feel better. All right, see you in the next.